let's
just
say,
this show should end right now. No, let's go.
So much to get to. Packed Undisputed. Let's talk about that guy LeBron last night. He ended up going with the odds-on favorite. Last night, he took Giannis Antetokounmpo with the first selection in the All-Star draft. So Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, and Nikola Jokic round out LeBron's starting five. Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, and Paul George highlighted Team LeBron's bench. But Kevin Durant predictably took Nets teammate Kyrie Irving with his team's first pick. And since KD won't be able to play, he drafted four other starters that included Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, Bradley Beal, and Jason Tatum. So Durant's bench was highlighted as well by James Harden, Zion Williamson, and Donovan Mitchell. So many names there. Really incredible teams. But Shannon, in your opinion, who picked the better team here?
Well, Skip, I really like LeBron's pick. I mean, I was waffling back and forth. I thought, like, you know what, go Giannis. But then I was like, no, he's going to go Kawhi because he's always selected Kawhi, and Kawhi's been on his team, and they've won all 3 years. But you can't argue with Giannis being the #1 overall pick. And the decided advantage that he has, Skip, is that when you select first, you get 4 of the top 7 picks. So, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of puts KD in a bind because KD, you know, to keep the peace down in the locker room, Skip, he's going to take his own guy. Okay, you take Kyrie. I've already gotten Giannis. I'm a little surprised that he took Steph Curry, but I think he took Steph, Skip. In all of his All-Star games, he's never gotten an opportunity to play with Steph. He was like, I wonder what it would be like to actually play with a shooter like Steph. My ability to penetrate, Giannis' ability to penetrate, Luka, and to just have to be a part of that. And so I think that's one of the reasons why he chose, because remember, Skip, we were talking about it yesterday. Is he going to take Steph or is he going to take Luka? And lo and behold, he's able to get both of these guys and get Jokic.
Yep.
So I thought his team, he did a great job of selecting his team. The thing that hurts Kevin Durant's team, Skip, is Kevin Durant's not playing.
I agree.
That's the biggest drawback against his team, is that he's not going to be on the floor. Now, had he been able to play, we might be having a different discussion currently, Skip, because I do like his squad. He got a nice, rounded out his squad rather nicely. But I think it's him not playing is what I would say gave LeBron the advantage. And I think the sports books and everybody, Fox Bet, I think they got LeBron team opening up as a 3.5, 4-point favorite. So I love LeBron team. They got shooting. They got nice size. I know everybody's talking about, Skip, the Utah Jazz have the best record in the NBA, and their 2 best players get picked last, Skip. It's like being the tallest guy at the schoolyard, and somehow you manage getting picked last when you're a foot taller than everybody else. So I thought they had fun with that, but I really like the LeBron team. I mean, Luka, Steph Curry, Giannis, Jokic, LeBron, and then Skip, I told you, first pick of the second round, he took Dame Lillard. He has a really nice team that can really shoot the ball, has nice size. So I really like his squad.
Okay. Speaking of really being able to shoot the ball, I heard Shaq say last night on TNT as he got his first look at LeBron's total squad. He said, I really like his starting lineup because of the shooting. And you just pointed to the shooting. And so I'm going to focus on the shooting or lack thereof. So let's look at LeBron's starting lineup. Is Luka a shooter? No, he's a lousy shooter. Is Giannis a shooter? No, he can't shoot a lick. Is LeBron James really a shooter? Is that what he does? No. I'll give you just below average, but he's certainly not even an average shooter. So let's look harder even at Steph's years so far. And you said wanted to play with Steph because he's the ultimate shooter. Well, over his career, he has been. But this year, he's not been up to snuff as a shooter because his career average from 3 is 43%. And he's 2 percentage points lower at 41, which obviously by most human standards is still excellent. But he's not been Steph. He started off the year with 2 straight 2 out of 10 performances from 3. He's had a 1 of 10 night. He's had a 1 of 11 night. And just the other night against Portland, he was 5 of 14. 5 of 14. So he's been as cold as he has been hot this year. And yet we saw that crazy video, which I can't even believe it that a human could do this. But we saw him make 105 straight threes. It was the corner three, obviously, which is a little bit easier, but still 105 in a row. And yet, Shannon, sometimes on the biggest stages, Steph can go as cold as he can hot. And remember a couple of years back, the three-point contest when it was back in his hometown of Charlotte, he lost in the finals to Joe Harris, who's now emerging a little bit more each year as a Brooklyn Net. But still, he came up by Steph standards small. So I don't know if he's a slam dunk teammate as a three-point shooter or as a scorer. I don't know whether he'll light it up or get lit up. He comes and goes as a shooter to me. And then look at Luka now.
What about this format, though, Skip?
All right. Yeah.
What about this format, all-star format? There are going to be no double teams. Guys are going to be getting wide open shots. Skip, you know, like the first three quarters is really up and down. Guys are not playing any defense, and then they focus on defense in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
But so now you got Giannis driving to the basket to dunk it. So guys are going to try to get the ball out of his hands. So I think Steph getting wide open looks, just because you got to understand, Skip, Klay Thompson is not in Golden State. So who do I have to worry about?
Okay.
Steph Curry, are you really worried about Kelly Oubre or Kent Bazemore or some of these other guys? Draymond's not going to score. Draymond has more assists than points. So the only focus is Steph Curry.
Okay, I got you. And that's a fair and valid point for you. But the point is, Steph can go either way. I don't know if I trust him even on wide open looks to go crazy hot because he can go crazy cold. And then Luka, I've been telling you again and again. So right now, Luka ranks 122nd in the NBA in three-point shooting, yet he's got this runaway popularity bandwagon that I can't quite wrap my head around. And that's his 122nd ranking this year is up from 140th in three-point shooting a year ago. And then look at Giannis. He's been horrible from three. He's 28.5%. That ranks dead last of 162 three-point shooters. Not that Giannis in the All-Star game is going to take a bunch of threes, but he might try a couple. And then LeBron, as we speak, he ranks 119th in three-point shooting, and his 69% from the free throw line ranks 103rd in the NBA. So it's not like LeBron's a deadly shooter. He can get on a hot jag sometimes, but I don't know. Is that a hot shooting lineup? Are they going to feed off each other and just be burying threes after threes after three? I don't see it.
Look, you're overanalyzing it, Skip. This is not the NBA Finals. This is an all-star game format. Guys are going to be getting up and down. Their shots are going to be wide open. In the first three quarters, you're probably going to see 40 dunks between the two teams. Guys are going to get wide open look because LeBron is going to be looking to drive the ball and kick. So is Giannis. But they still have other guys. What happens if they come in with Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Paul George? So you bring that lineup in with LeBron and Luka.
Okay.
And so you think we got shooters on the court now? Do we got shooters with Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, and Paul George? Or do we have any shooters with that?
Damian Lillard right now ranks 82nd in the NBA in three-point shooting. I know he's made some big clutch shots, but 82nd in overall three-point shooting.
Did you watch him last night? Did you watch him last night?
I'm just telling you what the number screams back at me. He's below average right now as a three-point shooter. He'll make big ones.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. If Dame Lillard is 82nd, how many guys of those 81 that's in front of him you would take over him shooting? Name the guys that you're going to take over Dame Lillard.
I don't have the list in front of me, but there are probably 20. Okay, not in the last second, unless it's a playoff game. If we start talking playoffs, I'd take a whole lot of people over him. But I'm just saying right here, right now, you're overselling who he is as a consistent three-point shooter. Overselling. And that brings me to Ben Simmons. He's your next pick off the bench. His career from three is 4 of 31. That's 12.8%. I don't know. And then Chris Paul's your next pick off the bench. He ranks 68th right now in three-point shooting in the league, which is pretty good for him. Jaylen Brown ranks 70th in the league in three-point shooting. And that brings me to Pandemic P, who LeBron did choose. And would you believe that Paul George, in his last 4 fourth quarters, and you'd be the first to point something like this out, he's 3 of 22 in his last 4 fourth quarters and 1 of